And welcome back to the program here from New Orleans, Louisiana at Radio Row, Super Bowl 59, brought to you OutKick's coverage by Hims. You can go to hims.com/touchdown. What are you waiting for? Well, you might want to wait for this. It's my pleasure to welcome to the program now, influencer, outstanding golfer. She's got a lot going on. Paige Spiranac joins the program. Paige, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. Paige, you know, I know you've got some interesting stuff going on. Paige Vegas, I think, is it Paigeas? I got to figure it out.
It's Las Paigeas, baby.
It's Las Paigeas. Okay, all right. We're going to talk about that. But let me start with here. Big news this week. You know, before you took over the world by storm as an influencer, you were a golfer, and I know you're still a golfer, but golf is where you first made your name. President Trump putting forth an executive order here, signing it to ban transgender athletes competing against women. Biological males no longer allowed to compete against girls and women. Where do you stand on that?
You know, I think that's a really interesting conversation, and I know that's really prevalent in women's golf especially, and I know that they have stood up against it. I've had conversations on both sides, and I'm still learning and educating myself, and I always want to make sure that when I come out and I make a stance on something that I am fully educated on it. I feel like even though I have a large platform and there is pressure to always say the right thing or do the right thing, I think sometimes the best thing is to not put an opinion out there if you don't fully know what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And that's why I tend to just stick with golf, because I am highly knowledgeable about it. I know when I'm talking about something that I can defend it until the day is long, but when it comes to politics or really touchy subjects, I know that if someone comes back at me, I don't fully have all of the right information to be able to defend it. And so I just think it's better to just leave it where it is and let the people who know what they're talking about have the opinion.
Fair enough. Yeah, a lot of media today probably would do well to take that advice, right? We wouldn't have a lot to talk about if we didn't. I want to go ahead and bring in now a guy who has written about you a lot, covered your career a lot, and who I know is excited here. And it's funny, as I look around, people can't see this, but I'm way more popular for some reason when you're on the program than with my other guest. I don't know how that works, but I want to bring in OutKick Senior Director of Content, Joe Kinsey, to join us right now. If we have Joe Kinsey is.
Ricky,
hello.
Ricky, this is amazing. The OutKick Culture Department finally gets to talk to Paige. This is a years in the making, Ricky. Amazing opportunity here. Paige dodged the first question, so we're going to go right into the next one, Ricky. I know she's got little time. She's got a lot of places to be. Paige, Dottie Pepper is getting up there. We want to know, are you going to take her job? Is CBS going to eliminate Dottie Pepper and put you on the sidelines where you should be on CBS coverage?
Queen Dottie, no, she is an absolute legend. She knows her stuff, and she's quite outspoken, and I think she does an amazing job. I would love the opportunity to do on-course broadcasting at some point in my career. I think I'd be great at it. But Dottie is the legend, and she is incredible at what she does, and all the props to her.
Paige,
fair enough. She's a major champion.
You and Dottie. Could we get you and Dottie to work on a broadcast?
The dream team. I love that.
Okay.
We a little salt and pepper.
Yeah, that could work.
Ricky, I love that. She's in with Dottie. Okay, next thing, a lot of guys want to know, you told Sydney Thomas that you would coach her in golf, the new rising superstar, Sydney Thomas. Where do you stand with you and Sydney Thomas working together on her golf game?
You know, I threw out the invitation, and I am all for helping my fellow sisters with playing golf. It can be quite challenging, and I feel like there's no one better to help navigate her golf swing.
Is there any concern?
All right, let me ask you a question about golf.
Go ahead, Ricky.
Joe, I want to ask this because this is like I've got a high level golfer here, so I'm gonna ask a golf question. All right,
go ahead.
If somebody is like 18 handicap,
yeah.
All right. Maybe they're even struggling to break 100. What are the one or two pieces of advice that could most at least help them enjoy the game more?
Short game. Practice your short game. Everyone will always go to the driving range and they want to just hit bombs all day long and see how far they can hit it. But you're going to lower your handicap significantly by working on your short game. So if you only have an hour, spend 15 minutes of it hitting golf balls and then the rest of the time working on your chipping and putting.
You hear that, Joe?
Well, I should take her advice. My golf game would be much better. But that brings me back to Sydney Thomas. Is there any concern that if you build Sydney Thomas up, that she could take the crown? Paige, we have you as the world's #1 golf influencer. Is there any concern out there that there's a rising star that is going to try to take your crown?
I think more the better. 2 minds is better than 1 and 4 is better than 2. So I think that we should band together and be unstoppable. And no, I think, there's a lot of unhealthy competition against women and I want her to do great things and have a great career. And she's so incredibly hot that, yeah, she deserves all of the attention and I'm definitely looking at her. She's amazing.
Well said, Ricky. One more thing before I have to go. I'm in high demand too.
All right, Columbo.
Paige.
Okay.
You said a couple years ago you were starting to indicate that you might try to get out of the game. That you were going into cooking and stuff like that on YouTube. Are you now back into golf full time? Like you're back to being the influencer, and that's where Paige is going to live on for years to come?
Golf is obviously my #1. It's my sweet spot. It's something I'm so incredibly passionate about, but there's also a bunch of different sides of me, and I think that's what's so great is that you can do lifestyle to cooking to fitness to what I'm doing now with Sports Grid, Los Paigeas. We created a show called Gimme Props, and people will send in prop bets, and they are so much fun. The second episode is a double stacked burger, and I have to try to finish it in under 5 bites. So not technically golf related, but it's just really fun content, and I feel that, yes, people know me for golf, but it's always my sense of humor and the playfulness and, being in on the bit and the joke and being self-aware, and that you can do that with anything. And so it's fun to show different sides of myself.
She has her own bobblehead, Joe. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. Milwaukee Brewers had a Paige bobblehead.
I know. They shot down Bobble Boobs. I was really pushing hard for that one, but yeah, apparently not family friendly.
Dang it. Why can't we have nice things anymore in this society? Everybody was in favor of that. Joy
Who
killers
needs to make the Bobble
is what
Boobs?
I say.
You need to make them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make them yourself. Put them on your website
I like
or whatever.
it.
It's a $1 million idea. Paige, what's your favorite golf course? What's your favorite course you've ever played?
So I played Pine Valley last summer, and it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. That course is so special.
That's an exclusive experience playing Pine Valley. It was like #1 year after year after year in Golf Digest.
Yeah.
When I was growing up. That's pretty wild. Have you ever played Augusta?
I haven't played Augusta. I would love to at some point play there. Cypress is another one of my favorites. Oakmont, Shadow Creek in Las Vegas. The golf course is so special, but the hang there is so much fun, which sometimes on the nicer golf courses, they can be a little bit more stuffy at times and stick to their rules. But at Shadow Creek, it's all about just, enjoying the day.
What's the experience like for you? Because obviously you've got a huge following. You're extremely popular. I think you've made about as big of a splash here in New Orleans this week as the players, arguably. But you also there's sort of the hate that goes with that sometimes too. How do you balance the incredible popularity with the people at the same time that are going to be naysayers and trying to drag you down?
People are always going to find something to hate, and that's totally fine. I think in the beginning of my career, I struggled with it. I didn't really know how to react to what people were saying because I just had no idea what I was doing. I was young, and so now I just lean into it and have fun with it. And I always say you want to have 70% hate, 30% love to grow, and you want to start conversations. And I think that's totally fine. I know people will pick and choose certain things that you say or do and talk about it. And at the end of the day, it's like this is what my brand is and what I want to do, and I love what I do, and they don't know me personally, and so you just have to let it roll off your back.
If you don't have some haters, I'm starting to learn even in having this show. If you don't have some haters, you're probably not doing anything interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you want to start conversations. I think that's the best thing about social media, and even hard questions or things that you post. Like, it is important to have that dialogue back and forth, and sometimes I wish it was more civil. Like, you can have positive discussions and not see eye to eye and not totally hate each other, and I wish that can move in that direction, but that's the whole point, is like, you grow from learning from what other people are saying, and it's so valuable.
All right, one more golf question.
Yeah.
What was the best round you shot in 2024?
Oh, in 2024, I shot a 67. It's my best.
I don't even need to know where you shot it. I'm impressed. I don't even need to hear. I don't even need to hear. You shot. I can shoot. I'm like the old line from Don Rickles. I can shoot a 67, but I got to pick up my ball on about the 13th hole.
Yeah, and then go to the back nine.
Yeah, exactly. Paige, tell me about Sports Grid and LasPaigeas.com. I got to get this right. I've got a couple of chips here. Can I go to Las Paigeas and lay down some bets now with these?
Yeah. So I was working with Sports Grid, and we created Las Paigeas, which is a destination for gambling and casino, lifestyle, and just everything you can think of. And we created the show Gimme Props, which I told you about. And it's just so much fun, and that's just the beginning of what we're doing. So you can check it out on the YouTube channel under Las Paigeas. So that is LAS space and then PAIGEAS. And you can watch the first 2 episodes of Gimme Props, which are so much fun.
All right, there you have it. Now, before you go, I've seen you rocking the Eagles gear this week online. I've seen you rocking the Chiefs gear online. You got a prediction for the game? Is there anybody you're rooting for? What do you think's going to happen?
You know, it's funny because I am a Steelers fan, but okay. I have bikini tops for all of the teams. Kind of falls in line with the first question you asked me. I stay very neutral on a lot of things, and so I do that with my NFL teams as well. And so I like to see history be made, and I am a Taylor Swift fan, and so I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. And as a Steelers fan, it's hard to root for the Eagles.
Yeah, you got a little Pennsylvania rivalry thing.
I know, but the
happening
Eagles
there.
fans are so passionate, and they scare me just slightly. And if any teams or fans are that passionate about their team, then I mean, you have to give them your props, because that's impressive. They like live and die for the Eagles. So
they have a reputation.
Yeah, see, I'm going back again to staying neutral on all grounds.
Yeah, she's staying neutral, but
I'm only passionate about boobs and cleavage and golf, and then everything else neutral.
All right, you heard it right here first. The three-peat.
That's my hot take.
There it is. Boobs and a three-peat for the Chiefs.
Great
That's the takeaway today.
Great stuff, Ricky.
Joe, you got anything else for Paige?
No, that was it. She gave us a great quote to end it, Ricky. That was great. All about the boobs, all about the cleavage.
Yes,
That's
did.
it, Ricky.
All right, well, get back to work and do something productive, will you? Joe Kinsey. We appreciate you, Joe. Paige, so much fun having you on today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thanks for all the support online. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We love it. Paige Spiranac, right here.